I am going to make this raised bed, another one. And so there it is, made by, first my friend Kylie, and then we ran into trouble with bolt number 5. That's the key part that I'll show you. And then, then my friend Marianne came and we managed to do it together. Lots of trial and error. We took it apart and put it back together many times, struggling to figure out how to do it, and particularly this bolt 5 is the challenge. And I wrote to the company and they didn't have a video on how to do it. They sent me sort of an unhelpful picture on how to do it, but so we figured it out ourselves. So right now, I'm gonna start just from scratch. I'm opening this box, right? So this is gonna be a long video, so you can forward it to whatever you need to see. Because I'm telling you, bolt 5, that's the thing. So let's see. Not that easy to even get this open, but we will do it. These white things make it challenging. But I'll get it eventually. There we go. You'll have patience and you'll fast forward. So the first step you want to do when you open it, they say, we'll find the instructions, is to count, make sure you have all the pieces. And I had all the pieces the first time. But we'll do that. It's a really good way to get familiar with the pieces because there's so many steps, it's complicated. All right. Okay, so here we've revealed pieces. We have not yet revealed instructions. So let's just see what we have. So this is D. This is D. This is the bottom. I know. This is D. This is the bottom. So it has the drain hole. You see the drain hole? So that's D, which I'm going to place to the side for bottoms. So I'm going to place those to the side and just have some cardboard. And these little G's are these little top pieces here. So that's not for a long while. And now we're getting a little more serious. C1, this is one of the first things we're going to do. C1 and C2 are the sides. And so C1 and C2 are the other sides. And the one thing that Marianne and I learned the hard way is that you actually put one whole side of it together and the long pieces before you put the other side together. So we'll do that carefully. So here I'm coming to the long pieces, which is I'm pretty sure called B. So B2. There's a second B2 and B01. We're just out on my patio. And if you can see around, that's a bed for me to plant ornamentals, and then I'm growing lawn over there. This is a new condo construction site that I'm in, and there's B1. So did I put the B2s together? I think I did. Okay. Oh no, I paired. Okay, B1 and B2 are together. Okay, great. Now we're finding these are going to be the wheels, which go on the bottom. These are the wheels, and this is now going to be my kit of all the screws and everything I need. I still haven't seen instructions in this one. I have a set of instructions. So these will all be important. I'll get my scissor again to open those up. So that's all of the screws that we need. And here coming are the legs. And the legs are really key in exactly how to position the legs with the associated holes. That's what we're going to study this one as we prepare to do the new one. So this one is A1. There's an A1 and an A2. These are two A1s, A1, A1, sort of stacking what's going to get used. And here's A2 and A2. So I'm kind of okay at putting things together normally, like IKEA. I can do it. But I also will say I'm not the most sort of technically proficient or skilled with, you know, drills and everything. I've kind of learned the hard way as I go. All right, so I still haven't, oh, here's the instructions. Here we have the instructions. So, first thing, stop, missing part, right? Okay, so what I've seen so far is I've got 2 A1s, 2 A2s, 2 B1s, 2 B2s, 2 C1s. Wait a second. Nope, I only have, oh, I really might be missing something. This will be shocking. I have 1 C, oh no, they're over here. All right, 2 C1s, 2 C2s. 2 Ds and 2 Es. The bottom panels are actually Ds and Es, and we've got all 4 bottom panels. And then, so Fs, so there's 3 Fs. So let's look what these are. These are Ls. There are 2 Ls, and this is the shelf down the bottom. And this is F, which is underneath here, are Fs. Fs are 3 Fs, 3 Fs, and this is an M. There are 5 M's, and they are shelf panels. Oh, these guys. Yeah, down here. Those seem wider than those. And then these are K's. K's are leg supports. We'll remember where they go. And these are 3 H's, which are also leg supports. So we'll figure that out as we go. So that, in fact, is everything. And then this is a liner that you add at the end. And we have emptied the box. So we are ready for action. Box out of our, so we have everything. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is take C1, and they don't, you put them together and take them apart a lot because they don't stay together. But this is C1 that I'm to put onto C2, like that. It doesn't feel like it's fitting very well. And this ridge is the ridge that's gonna take the floorboards. So that's gonna be down, and I'll be honest, it's just not fitting together all that well. I just have to be honest. Okay. I'm just going to be honest. So maybe what I'll do is I will try a different C2 and see if this C2 fits this C1 better. And and it doesn't. So yes, this video is going to include my frustrations. So as I say, we're sort of putting them together a lot because they don't stay together without the legs. All right. So now, so I'm just gonna put this down like that. So it's sort of together. Okay. And now I'm trying to figure out if I should lower you a little bit better to see better. But now we're gonna look at the legs really carefully. So if I pick up this leg and try to position it the way this leg is positioned, I can't. So now I can. So I have 3 screws here and 1 bolt here and 3 screws here. So that's the right way for this leg to meet C1 and C2, right? So I want it to meet C1 and C2 on this side with that ridge at the bottom. So let's see if I do these in 2 pieces, if this makes it easier. So there is C2 where it belongs. Maybe I'll use that to wedge myself. Or let's see. Well, let's lie down. I feel like I should maybe lower you down a little bit. Okay. So and then I'm going to turn all this in the same way. And the same, wait. Sorry, I'll get back so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just placing it down, and then I'm going to take the second leg, and I checked the same things on the second leg, so where the 3 holes and where the big hole is. So there that is. And then we'll slide C1 in here. So this ridge down. As I say, I'm not the handiest girl, but I'm persistent. So there we have, right? And so you can see, I think enough of this. So we just made this side. So we made that side. And so what it says now is, after interlocking the 2 wooden panels, check that both left and right sides are properly aligned. And then before tightening the screws, verify that component C2 is fully seated at the base of the slot in components A1 and A2. So I have it seated all the way down there. And then they're saying, go ahead and screw these 3 in, and it shows me that I have the extra hole that's going to be for the other bolt thing right there. So I'm going to push those down, and now let's get our screws. Find the scissor, get the drill, and then get into these things. So what I I often have been somebody that does things without a drill. This project, we really want a drill for this project. Okay, here's the mysterious bolt. Oops. Here's the mysterious bolt 5 that I mentioned with the funny little nut things. And so I don't know why this bag was open, but it's open somehow. Huh. And so let's keep all of these together. I want to keep all these carefully together because they are really critical when we get to this very difficult 5. So, all right, I'm going to keep them together by putting them together. So there's mysterious bolt 5. These are tacks, which are last to tack in your, and this is for the later. And this is 1, and that's what I'm looking for, is 12 ones. So that's what I was looking for. And then there's 25 2s. This never seemed to come into play. And then there's a spot where we use these dowels. So here we are ready to do something. Ha-ha. Okay. And as I say, Marianne and I and Kylie and I, we took this baby apart. This step, the leg step, we made so many mistakes with. So now, let's make some noise. Push them away. Having trouble? All right, that worked. Let's go back to this hole. I'm not you might have criticism of my drill skills. I'm learning to be straighter. I didn't have a lot of, nobody really ever taught me when I was younger, to be honest. I'm kind of too many fathers, too little time. Haha. Long story. Okay, so there, we made, and I'll just pivot this a tiny bit so you can see, we made that we made this. Okay, that's what we have made as the first step. And the next step is where it got complicated. So I'm just going to lean it against this post here and turn the page. So right away, we have to get into B1 and B2, and they are similar. So here is B1, here is B2, right? So B2, the ridge, right? The ridge is going to want to be down where this ridge is. And this is showing you where a support thing is going to go, and those F's underneath are going to go. So that's where that's going to go. And so this bolt 5 issue that I'm on the lookout for. Okay, so oh, I think it has to do with this. Okay, so yeah, it has to do with B1. Okay, so let me. Okay, oh, I see how they're telling me to do it for the next step. So what I'm gonna do is this. I want to. So I'm supposed to interlock those, but I find it easier to interlock when I'm connected to something. So I'm supposed to now put this like this, and this is A2 and this is A1, and then I'm supposed to I'm going to need all of them. So let me, before I get to the other legs, right? So I want so B so B1, yeah, so B2 goes in first. So, see the picture is not as clear as I would like. So B2's got to go in like this. All right, I feel like I should, let me start like this. So B2 is in like that, so that the ridges are there. The ridges are there, and this is the bottom, right? That's the top. This is the bottom of it, right? This is the top. That's the bottom. And then again, I'm pushing the ridge in. Sliding in, and then they came together pretty well. And then I've got, oh, all right. So let's do the other side. Putting B2 in first. Ridge in, ridge top, ridge up and in. That bolt 5's coming up, so that's what, if you're not watching for anything else, you want to watch for bolt 5. Oh, that doesn't want to slide in there. Huh. Oh, it did. So when I went there, I just want to be really close. Okay. Make sure that's close. Oop. Okay. B1. Okay, there we are. So now I'm going to attempt to lie it down without anything falling apart. So we can do the next step, which does involve bolt 5. So let's just do it again. Well, maybe what I should, not sure what I should try to do. Okay. I think I'll do one side, try to do one side and lay it down. So, you can fast forward to bolt 5, certainly. All right, so let me, what happens if because I can hold on to that and go like that, and keep it together. Just a little tricky, but we're getting there. I think that you could say that this is a reasonably a 2-person job, but I think I'll be okay. All right, so now the next instructions are, before finally tightening all of the screws, confirm alignment of the slots on components B2 and C2, then tighten bolt 5, and then you tighten the screws. So, so what they're saying in a sense is that I could and probably should put the screws in on this side. But what happens is, oops. Oh, I did one thing wrong over there. So what happens is this. What happens is this, and it may be hard for you to see this, but so see this small, I don't know if you call it a nut, what you call it in my hand. That's supposed to go in here, in this little hole here. So this small object is going in this little hole. And it has a little thing for like a screwdriver to hold it on one side, and that's the outside. That's what you want on the outside. So it's going to go in there. And I should probably turn this whole thing around for you. I think I need to turn this whole thing around for you. So give me a second to try to manage that process. Or I could move you. Let's try. Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. Excuse my butt. All right. Sorry, this is taking so long. You can fast forward. So, my intention is to come this way for you to see better. And I also realized I had put one of them in the wrong direction. So, this one has to turn around because that's that. I don't know if you can see that hole. That hole is our bolt 5 hole. That is critical for support. So, yeah, I think it's fair to say that if you could have another person helping you, that would be sensible. I do think I will get this done, but I do think that another human would be an aid to your process. Out again. I am in, and again, it's saying to do it this way, but I want to make sure, but I have to make sure that I'm up into the lip of the tongue one. So okay, that is better. So here's the bolt 5 process. So here is in fact bolt 5, and it wants to go in here, and so everything has to be lined up perfectly in order for it to go in. I'm going to lower you some more. So there's bolt 5, and it's see how it's coming in and out perfectly fine right now. So I've made it go through this leg, and I've made it go through to be 2. I mean to be 1. I apologize. It's the bottom board B1. It's hard to figure out this video how to show you everything. So I will. Let me try to move you. I think that's a better move to make. Sorry, spinning you. So we learned with this B5 process is that, again, I have this little guy that is going to go in here, and there's 2 holes, and the hole, so it needs to be lined up so that it's receiving the bolt, right? And in fact, I need to pull this bolt out because it's too, I pushed it too far in. So what we learned is we could either try to control this with a screwdriver, and I can, let me see, I can try that first. I can try that first. But then the other thing we discovered is it's really useful to have some mounting putty. And it's sort of stuck in there in a way I don't want it to be, so I'm going to just use some mounting putty so I can take it out, right? So, and we also controlled it with the mounting putty. That was sort of useful. So let me try to do it that way. So, and I'm learning that the line for where a screwdriver could go in wants to be horizontal, and then the holes are in the right place to go in here. And then, so I'm going to just do that. As I say, this is kind of a 2-person job, and I'm actually going to now try to screw this in with my screwdriver rather than with, sorry. This is the first time I've ever made a video like this. I make lots of fitness videos, but so here's the little bolt. So I'm going to see if I can and I didn't quite succeed because you know what? I learned one more thing, and that is that I should start the number 1 screws on the outside and not tighten them all the way, but I should start them to hold this a little bit better in place. So that is going to be my next maneuver. Let's just start that. I've got a little piece of tape on my finger. So I think this bolt 5 thing is going to loosen a little bit. I'm going to loosen bolt 5. So I think that's going to work better. And again, so I'm on the other side, and I'm going to just put it, I'm going to put in these 3 screws on the opposite side. Just not all the way in, just a little bit in, just to hold things in place. Looks to me like I want the bottom to be in place better. Okay, that's better. Probably flattering shots of me all over the place. Okay, so I've just held it in a little bit, so I'm a little bit more secure. And let me see if I can finish this bolt 5. It's a little hard to get in. I think maybe I should finish getting it in with the drill. Nope. So I feel like I have to take it out because it doesn't feel like it's quite seated right, so I'm going to try to take it out. And I can just pull it right out. So it was not seated right. I could tell it wasn't seated right. So I'm going to pull it out, and then I'm going to check out my situation over here. Yeah, and this was not in the right place. Somehow this got spun in all the moving around I did. Okay, I think I reset that. So let me try one more time with this screw. I'm telling you, bolt 5 is really why you're watching this video. This is the hardest part of the whole thing. Every other part of making this thing is pretty straightforward. This bolt 5 is the bear. So I'm still doing it by hand, and I feel like I'm in there. I'm gonna, nope, it's spun again. So it's not quite right. So it's the setting of that little thing in there is really is the challenge, okay? So let me try to get this out. Okay, now I got it out. So it wasn't set quite properly. So I'm going to try it again. Probably now I will try to hold that. So you kind of push in, and then you're connecting there, and now I think I'm okay. I believe I'm okay. This feels better. This feels like I'm really connected to something now. All right, maybe we'll snug it with the drill. All right, and then we can finish up the other side, as they said. So I can finish up this side. Okay, and we're ready now. Wish that was a little more flush. Okay, I think Marianne got it more flush, but it's not bad. Okay, so you can stop watching because now you know how to do bolt 5, or you can keep watching. Or you can fast forward to some other sections of this thing. Okay, so I've got to do it the same thing on the other side. So B2's on top, B1's on the bottom. Let's try to, they say to do it this way, sort of line them up and then put them in. We're in, but we're not up in the slot. Now we're up in the slot. Okay, so oops. So I think what I should do is, again, just do these A1s as placeholders. What I'm noticing is I want to kind of, so I want that really in there. So I'm holding it with one hand. Again, 2-person job probably. Wait, 2-person job. gapping down here. So. It's a little better. Okay. Do the bottom one. Wait a second. Oh no, I did the right thing. Just making sure I had my bolt 5 hole. Okay. So you're really watching somebody who wants a raised bed and is willing to struggle and be wrong and adjust along the way, and which is my same approach to fitness. Okay, so we're ready for our second bolt 5. There's 4, so we're gonna have to do the same thing on the other side. By then you probably won't be watching this video. So on this side, you can see the bolt go in, and I can tell it's going all the way in. And then I want to line this up, the line on the outside, and I can use my putty, and so I can put that in straight. And then I learned that when I start this screwing process, that I should hold on to it. So this makes me, my non-dominant hand being the screwing hand at the moment. So let's see how that works. And one really feels that one wishes that one was screwing with their dominant hand, but it's turning. Right, I'm going to try to reposition dominant hand screwing. I feel like I'm connecting. It's getting harder to screw it. I think I'm connecting. So let's try the drill. Went in pretty well. So finish these guys. You can comment and criticize my drilling technique. I know I need work. Funny angle. Nope, not happy. Let's take that out. My angle. Oh. I'll fix that later. So yeah, Marianne said I need one of those metallic bits. I'm gonna buy one of those. Okay. So now we only make one side because now we're not going to repeat the other side yet. Now we're going to put in the legs up, and we're going to put the bottom in. So the bottom is in 2 identical looking pieces, but they actually are, they're called E and D. So we have them over here. Nope, we have them over here. So what it says is that, so it says that E goes in first, because it has a little notch for the legs. So trying to give you more space. So I slide it in. So again, kind of two-person job, right? Because gotta hold everything together. So oof. And it's really hard to, right, so I can push it out. So now what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to, there, I got it. So doesn't fit so tight, but it's in there. So there's an E, and then there's two D's. Second D. Okay, this is, again, it's a two-person job. All right. Trying to see how to keep everything together. Doing first D again. Okay. I don't have a great idea here. I've got to try to, I need something to hold this together. I got an idea. I happen to have something with a bunch of dirt in it. So this could be, all right, I'm gonna make that thing be my second person. It's gonna hold this together. All right. Okay, then I got another D. Can't you just see the lettuce and the beans and the everything growing? And then there's the last E. Okay, so we have made quite a bit of it. And let's look at, now we have to do the F's. We do the F's and then we can flip it over. So the F's are going to actually take 12 twos. There's 25 twos. It's going to take 12 of these twos. So two per side. And you can probably see the ridges here. So these are for the F's. And there it is. There's my F. So my F's go in like that. So again, as I said, you really want to watch that bolt 5, but everything else I'm doing, I think the rest of these steps are pretty straightforward, right? So I think if you weren't watching, if you gave up on watching, it would make sense. I'm just going to keep videotaping to make the whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to put my screws in here. Make sure everything's lined up-ish. Oops, that's interesting. Perhaps my drilling's getting a little bit better as I go. Who knows? Now the wheels are going to go in here, but I'm gonna flip and do the second side and have to flip again to do the wheels. That'll be okay. Finishing part F, supporting the whole endeavor. Now, if you are still watching, we are going to have, of course, as you can imagine, bolt 5 on the other side. And we're going to be doing it from a different angle because it's going to be upright. So we'll learn what we learn when we get there. I mean, I have done it once, so this is my second time. But I wasn't alone the first time. All right. I'm not alone, I'm with you. Okay. So we did F, that was step 4. And now we want to flip the whole thing over, and we're doing the same thing, attaching the other side. So it'll be the same process that we went through the first time. But of course, we have to make the whole thing because we didn't even make the legs or do any of that. So we've got to do all of that. So I will move my friend and pick you up and flip you over. Well, flip you over. Oh. Yeah, they really show it on this side. So another thing that feels like a 2-person job, but all right, let's figure this out. Let's see if this is helpful underneath. Oh, whoa, whoa. Don't do that. All right, it's a little bit helpful. Okay, so, whoa, okay. Lots of things to adjust. This is really what it says to do. To have turned it up right. Okay, so our old friends, C1 and C2. Our old friends, A1 and A2. choo-choo. So, making sure I have everything the right way. I want 3 holes on this side, 3 holes and the 5 bolts on that side. I want my ridge on the bottom. Let's try actually. Let's try that. Let's try that. And then, oops. It's a little lean. Okay. Okay. All right, let's try it this way. That is together. Okay, that is together and that is together. And I'm gonna just put it down and screw these in. These are 1s, and I can screw them all the way in because they're not associated with bolt 5. I'll be amazed if anybody ever watches this video in its entirety. I know you can't see what I'm bolting right now. Again, I made this video because I couldn't find a video where anybody explained bolt 5, so that's why I made this video. Right, hold on one second, because really what happens is once you get from step 4 to step 5, they sort of do the whole thing together. And yeah, so now we're okay. We can lift this up and then we can try to bring this together. So it's, it's heavy, and you see why it's I describe it as a 2-person job, but doesn't mean I'm not going to get it to work. I have an idea. And my idea is to go over like this. I have to take you for a ride. chance to see if I can connect this easier using gravity as my friend. Gravity was my friend. Okay, I think we look very, very good. And I think we should do the not complete holding for one on each side. And then set it set it back on its feet. Bolt 5, number 2 coming up. So this is going relatively well because it's all of Marianne and my trial and error. Okay. So now I'm going to go right side up again. Not for the final time. And so what's interesting is because we did bolt 5 upside down, so now it feels higher than I was used to it being lower, so it's higher. And okay, just let me get my moving parts. So it turns out they give you an extra one of the knobby guys. They seem to have given me 3 of those. So I only really need 1 right now. I mean 2 right now. So I'm going to go through the same process. Let me turn the boat around. So you go with me. So there's where bolt 5 wants to go in, and it's going all the way in, so I'm okay, I'm connected, which is good news. And then I want my putty or my screwdriver, and I seem to have lost the original putty I had, so I'm going to get more putty. The putty seems to hold it better for me than the screwdriver did. So again, I want the screwdriver end of it horizontal, so I can go into that hole horizontal so that the holes that I want the screw to go into are lined up, and it went in really well. Let me see if I hold and hand screw. I did the same thing. No, I'm not. Oops. Now I can't tell my left from my right. Okay. I'm holding. I'm just going to get that a little straighter. Feels like I'm connected, but I'm not getting very far with my hand screw. Could be the angle of my body too. Let's try this. Yeah, angle of body, so that's a little bit better. And I think I will use the drill to finish that up. Who knows where the drill is? Way over here. Oh, I remember that. We gotta. There's a lower shelf, so we're gonna flip. We are gonna flip again for the lower shelf. So that is not quite going in. So I'm going to assume it's not connected. So it's not happy somehow, which must have to do with the placement of this. Although I really look so lined up. And that time, I feel like I connected a little bit better that time. Bolt 5, if you're watching this, you're watching this because of Bolt 5. It's just really hard. Yeah, I connected that time. And yet, it felt like and then it disconnected. And because it turned, yep, it turned, okay. All right. So let's try the screwdriver technique. So the screwdriver technique is, I'm going to try to hold it in place with the screwdriver. Let's try this. That time I did it. Bolt 5, the bolt that keeps on giving. Oh. Well, okay. It's not lined up again. It's not lined up again. I'm not sure which the better technique is. Let's try it. Let's try it. So I'm just sort of doing it with my hand to feel if I'm connecting. Oh. Now it feels like I connected. Okay. I also have to change my back position because I was hunched over in a particular way for too long. So I'm going to stretch my back out a little bit. Could use a little child's pose. Here's like a standing half child's pose. Got it. Oh, wrong direction. All right, we'll snug these. We got one more side. Oh, this looks like it pulled out. This, in all of that, looks like this pulled out a little bit. So hang on a second. This is a little pulled out, so I'm going to try to really pull this together. There's one more bolt 5. Can you hardly wait? What did I do with it? Oh, I put it in. I forgot to put it in. Okay. Let's continue with the, so line it up, pull that out a little bit, line it up, and hold it even as you try to screw this in. So it's my fourth one. I feel like, and it was much easier than any of the other ones. Sorry, too close to you. My hair's a mess. It's getting worse. Have you noticed? It's gotten worse and worse throughout the whole thing. Whew. We have fundamentally made the raised bed. It has this lower shelf, which is what I'm going to do next, is the lower shelf, if you're staying with me. Okay. Oh, part 6 are these little G's, and they go on with ones, with 8 ones, which may be all I have left. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 2 extras. The little hats. The hats. It's a beautiful June day. It's cool. We've had hotter days, but today's cool. You can see I'm still in my sweatshirt. Not that warm out here. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Wait 1 second. This is the dowel. The directions are okay, but I think they could be a little more specific. Dowel. What are you going to grow in your raised bed? Where I am in this condo, we have a lot of deer, so I can only raise vegetables in something like this, and I can only plant ornamentals on the ground. And I'm carefully researching ornamentals because there's plenty that they love, like hostas, so I'm avoiding the ones they love and focus on the ones they don't like. Very proud of myself. I will have earned breakfast. Hasn't happened yet. Okay, that was step 6. step 7. Oh, okay, I remember. Hang on. Again, not so in. Oh, I got one over here that didn't want to go in all the way. I have to fix this one.